Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Kerbal Space Program. I'm your host, Durka13. That was very game showish. I apologize for that. But let's see, where did we leave off last time? We launched a couple of rockets in episode 2. The most exciting, I guess, thing happening is we were doing a contract to test the decoupler, and we did it coming back down to the surface, and we blew up our rocket. Jebediah is lost. He is trying to find his way home, which he'll get here eventually. Let's check if he's back yet, actually. Not too much time has passed, but no. Bill, Bob, and Valentina. Eventually, Jeb will pop back up in here. Alright, so what are we going to do this time? I am hoping, well, for sure, we are going to launch a rocket into high space over Kerbin and get a ton more science from there. I'm also hoping to do an orbit. We'll see how that goes, because like I said, you know how I am with orbits. So, we do have a couple of contracts here I picked up. We have one to orbit and one to test the command pod / down at Kerbin. It's pretty easy to look for a water landing, so we will do that. We are going to have to upgrade our launch pad and our vehicle assembly building rather soon, because the rocket that we are using now is kind of starting to push the limits of our capabilities. Let's get rid of you. So, this is our rocket we designed. This is going to get us to high space over Kerbin pretty easily. It is at 30 out of 30 parts, and it's at 17.6 tons out of 18 tons. So, there is that. I'm assuming before we launch a orbit-worthy vessel, we are going to have to upgrade probably the launch pad. The parts we can work around, but the launch pad probably for sure. So, let's go ahead and make sure we have Valentina in the driver's seat here, which we do. Awesome. And let's go ahead and launch. I'm not really going to be following any specific launch pattern here. I'm just going to kind of go pretty much straight up and a little bit over, just to ensure that we have a high orbit. Temperature scan, we will take it. We are only launching with the SRBs at first. It's the solid rocket boosters. So we're not going to have any control over the throttle, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. We're going to hit T for stability assist. Thank you, Valentina, for that. And let's launch. We do another temperature scan right away. Awesome. Bum 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 bum. We'll tip over a little bit here just to give us a little space between us and the Space Center. Alright. The SRBs are going to go in a second, and we will hit space to drop them off. And then we will go right to our liquid fuel engine. There we go. Liquid fuel engine has gimbal, so we have a lot better control over our rocket now. Again, I'm not really going for an orbit this time around. More or less just trying to get us as high up as we can go, because there is a butt ton of science up there we could do, and it's worth a pretty decent chunk. I'm actually going to save this temperature scan because we have 4 of them on here. I'm going to save the temperature scan because we're going to want to do it in space and high space. It's actually a fairly weak ascent. Crew report. I will. Actually, we're not going to do the crew report either. Alright, how are we looking here? Alright, hitting 70,000. We are just going to hold right here until our apoapsis is above 250,000. Coming up on 200. There we go. 240, 250,000. There we go. Have almost no gas left in the tank. What we do have is what we're going to use to try to get a water landing here. Of course, we are right on land. Oh well. Alrighty. So, we are now in space. We have one temperature scan we can do over here. I'm not going to do the orbital telescope. I'm going to wait until we get above 250,000 because it'll be worth quite a bit more there. That is science alert. It's going to de-warp us every time there is new science available. And I'm just going to go turn that off for a second here. Turn it off. And I will manually de-warp us once we're above 250 here. There it is. See all this science we could do now? 7.5. We do a materials study. Magnometer boom. Look at that. 37.5 science. Love it. Mystery goo. That's going to be worth a decent chunk of change here. 15. Orbital telescope. And finally our last temperature scan. There we go. That is a nice chunk of science right there for us. That'd be my luck if I accidentally jetted the heat shield right here. Not actually sure what would that do would do since there's stuff below it. Alright, let's see what we could do for a water landing here. Let's see, we want to go, I believe, anti-normal. There it is. Now, if I am correct, anti-normal will bring our orbit down this way. Hopefully I'm correct. Might not be, but let's see what happens. It is, but it's going really slow, and we just ran out of gas. So, we are not going to splash down in the ocean, unfortunately. We are going to jettison that, because we don't need it anymore. Yeah, look at that. Alright, enough looking. Let's fast forward to 70,000 meters. Find retrograde first. There it is. Get us relatively close. There we go. We are officially in orbit now. We're going to keep our heat shield going into the wind. That's what it's made for. To break wind for us. Sorry, I'm just a man-child. Alright, heating effects, blah blah blah. We've seen this 1,000 times. I'll finish it up as quick as I can for you guys. Our other engine parts over there exploded. Man, we're hitting a lot of G's here. Wow, that was pretty crazy for a second there. We braked really, really fast. We're coming over hills, that's why. Remember, as soon as we're below 250, we can launch the chute safely. There we are. And I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, just because we are coming over a mountain range. It's like the opposite of water. Thank you. But see, we could have landed right there, and we would have been fine, but no. Alright, let's go ahead and warp a little bit. Oh, actually, we are landing a pretty decent spot there. Just barely missed the hills. Well, we're landing on a hill. We barely missed the mountains. And we'll de-warp there because we are getting pretty damn close. Coming in at about 6.5 meters a second. That is a safe speed. There we go. We have touchdown. We could do an EVA report here. EVA report from flying above Kerbin's grasslands, because this counts as flying above for some reason. We're going to store that experiment. We are going to hit the ground and EVA report from Kerbin's Grasslands. We're going to grab back onto the ship and ragdoll a little bit. And I'm just going to struggle to get Valentina here back in the ship. We'll try one more time. If not, I will just forfeit that. Alright, we're done. Let's go ahead and store that experiment. And we're going to recover vessel. By the vessel, it's Valentina. So we are going to have to go and recover this manually. Doo-doo, doo, doo-doo, doo-doo, doo. There we are. Valentina, you... Oh, wow, you hit 9 Gs. That's rough. Closed. Next, next, next. We're going to go to the tracking station here, which I don't think we've been in yet. Nope. Thank you, Gene Kerman. Let's see. That's nothing. There it is, the hopper. We're going to highlight it there, and we're going to say recover. Yes, we want to recover. We gained 113.8 science from it. 17,500 Kerbal dollars. There we go. So, we got a decent chunk of science again. Let's go ahead and spend that. I think we are going to spend 45 on flight control. I think that'll be worth our while. It'll unlock the first stage of MechJeb, which I will explain a little bit here. And some pretty good wings. And a reaction wheel, which we're not going to really worry about now. Our rockets aren't big enough to need those. And I think our next bet, as much as I would love to get the magnometer part here, we are going to go for solar panels. There we are. Solar panels and a better probe core so we can make some satellites. There we are. And, I think we're going to go ahead and upgrade the launch pad. Yeah, let's do it. 75,000, we could part with that. Go into the vehicle assembly building, make any tweaks we need to our rocket. Alright, so we don't have to worry about mass anymore. We're almost never going to have to worry about mass anymore. The parts is kind of what we need to worry about now. We're going to take off 2 of these thermometers. There we are. Gives us some parts right there. And let's see here. We have 28. That's about 4,000 delta V. About 4,500 delta V. In theory, this should get us into orbit, but I suck. So, what we are going to do is we're going to add a couple of new parts here. MechJeb. MechJeb is a mod I have installed. Essentially what it does is it can automate and do a lot of things automatically for you. We could set it to do our takeoffs for us and get us into a nice orbit. It could do docking automatically. It can set up like transfers to different planets and moons. I love MechJeb. It is fantastic. Did we unlock any more science here? No. We have an extra battery on here, don't we? I believe I tucked it back there. Yeah, there it is. The only reason I ask is because I would love to put a antenna on here. That way we can transmit a lot of the orbital telescope stuff back down to Kerbin. There we go. What is our electric charge looking like here? 3 hours. I think I'm going to put one more battery on here, just to be safe. Because transmitting does use up just a ton of electric charge. There we are. We're just going to hide it right back there like that. And what's it looking like now? Is it not counting those? $505, $357. Actually, let's leave that open. Oh, it was. Okay. No. Because this says what? 100 by on its own? Or is electric charge 300? Plus 200 battery? Yeah, alright, that makes sense. Fair enough. There we go. Close the doors. And I am going to throw a couple of solar panels on here. Not really necessary, but because I do plan on transmitting some data, it's not going to hurt. Let's see, we'll put 2 just like that. Actually, that might even be enough. I'm not really all too concerned about it. I guess what we could do is we can move MechJeb and move this antenna a little bit. Put the antenna there, and we'll put one more solar panel right here. There we go. So we'll get solar panel views 3 out of the 4 ways, which will be fine. And of course, we're way over our part count now. I did not think about that. Well, one big problem is we have 2 MechJebs here. There we are. 34. Alright, what can we trim down here? I guess we're not going to do any transmitting. We're going to save that for our first satellite. Sorry, guys. Alright, 30 out of 30. Alright, let's go for the orbit. I'm going to do it if it kills me. Which it might. It killed Jebediah. Alright, so this is MechJeb. It's got a lovely little panel here with different things we can open. This right here, this is SmartAss. SmartAss is a better version of the built-in stability assist. You can lock it to do all these things. Eventually a pilot could lock to all these positions, but MechJeb does it for you now. This is orbital info. It gives us our apoapsis, our periapsis, and a bunch of other really lovely information. And we're going to use both of those. Automatically, we're going to tell SmartAss to kill our rotation, which is just the standard stability assist. We're going to bring our throttle up, even though we cannot control the SRBs. Oh, you know what I want to do, though? Let's go ahead and revert. Reverting, I try to stray away from. Since we haven't really done anything, I'm not going to count it. We are going to put the better winglets on here. It'll cost us a little more money, but whatever. There they are. There we go. It's going to give us a lot better control at liftoff. Especially with those SRBs since they don't have any gimbal. Looks like this is going to be a longer video. I'm okay with that though. Alright, MechJeb. Kill rotation. Throttle's going to be all the way up to prepare us after we drop those SRBs. We're going to launch. There we go. Going up nice and straight. I like it. Well, now we are tipping a little bit. Let's go ahead and tip it over. Encourage it to tip over the other way though. Again, once we drop off those SRBs, it'll be a lot nicer. Oh, we have so much rotation going on here. MechJeb is not doing its job. There we go. That should give us a lot better control. There we go. That was very inefficient. So, as you can see, instead of having to go in the map now, we have a nice readout right here for us. Once we hit about 15,000, I'm going to drop us to the 90-degree mark here on the nav ball. Oh, that was awful. Oh, guys, that was terrible. That did not work out the way I thought it would. I'm really fighting to control this thing right here. Yeah, we're not going to an orbit here. In fact, this is nothing. We'll just do our crew report. We'll do our temperature scan. And I'm even just going to turn off the engine now. There's no point. Let's decouple. Turn ourselves retrograde. Actually, we're going to tell MechJet to turn us retrograde. I just barely miss our extra part there. We are going to go up to about 47,000 meters. Let's go ahead and fast forward to that. The nice thing about MechJet, though, is it's going to keep us locked to this no matter what. So we could just keep fast forwarding at this point. There we go. Now we are on the descent. And I'm going to keep this fast forward going just because we've seen this 100,000 times already. Oh, we are going to get our water touchdown, though. That'll be nice. Okay. So it wasn't a complete failed mission. There's our other part. About to crash into the ocean. Man, MechJet is having a really hard time. Oh, we should probably launch our parachutes, huh? Alright, 450 above the water. We're going to go ahead and bring that to about 75. And then we'll float down the rest of the way on our own. We will test our command pod in the ocean. I believe that's what the contract calls for, isn't it? Test /down. Yep. And we're also going to save this temperature scan for hitting the actual water. Because I don't believe we have done one there yet. Yeah, we can do a couple of things here. None of it's going to be worth very much science because we're still on the planet, but whatever. We are going to run a test, completing our contract. There it is. Contract complete. Alright guys, I'm going to cut this video here. That is actually another video finishing its render. Thank you, Windows. I'm going to cut the video here. This is Let's Play Kerbal Space Program, Episode 3 with Dirk13. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It was kind of a boring one, but next we will go into orbit, and it will be fantastic. And that's, you know, your sneak peek into Episode 4. Alright guys, take care.